building permit that's issued after passage.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Have a second?
Second.
Please restate the motion.
We have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 2023-04.
Any discussion?
Oh, there is the one commentary about, on section 1, this is a typo that will be fixed where it says, with full force and effect to all residential, and the missing word is commercial. It would be residential and commercial building permits issued after the date of passage. So the copy you have does not have the word commercial, but it should. We'll make that change unless anyone has a disagreement with it.
Thank you.
So we're on discussion on this, correct?
Yes.
Does this include the three additional, it does in section 1, the three additional items that we spoke of in the workshop?
No, it'll be the next
It's
one.
the next one.
Okay.
The stud separation and the flex
Oh,
is
yes,
addressed
yes.
in 05.
05,
That-
gotcha.
That's in the following
Gotcha.
ordinance. Yes. Okay, any more discussion? Please call the roll.
Mark Hickman,
Yes.
Zach Jeffrey,
Yes.
Jack Paul,
Yes.
Kyle Mark.
Entertain a motion for the emergency
Emergency
clause.
clause. Let me find the reading here. I move that we adopt the emergency clause of ordinance 2023-04.
Thank you. Have a second?
Second.
Please restate the motion.
The motion has been made and seconded that the city council accept the emergency clause of ordinance 2023-04.
Thank you. Any discussion? Please call the roll for the emergency clause.
Mark Hickman,
Yes.
Zach Jeffrey,
Yes.
Jack Paul,
Yes.
Kyle Mark.
Thank you. Now we move to the ordinance 2023-05, amending the building codes that you were speaking of.
Well, again, I move that we suspend the rules, waive the second, third reading of ordinance 2023-05, read the ordinance by title only, and vote on ordinance 2023-05 after its initial reading. I'll second that.
Thank you. Would you restate the motion, please?
We have a motion and a second to suspend the rules, waive the second and third reading of ordinance 2023-05, read the ordinance by title only, and vote on ordinance 2023-05 after its initial reading.
Thank you. Would you please call the roll to suspend the rules?
Mark Hickman,
Yes.
Zach Jeffrey,
Yes.
Jack Paul,
Yes.
Kyle Mark.
Yes.
We have ordinance 2023-05, an ordinance amending building codes for residential and commercial structures within the city of Mayflower, declaring an emergency and for other purposes. So this was part B of the workshop discussion. It amends three requirements, basically. We have an existing building code, which is Title 11, Part 24. This would add a new Part 14 and a new Part 15. And Part 14 would have a two-part requirement that walls and framing that are, if you're using 2x4 studs, they cannot be more than a maximum width of 16 inches apart, measured from the center of the studs. And then for roof framing work, again with 2x4s, they would be no more than 16 inches apart. Or if they're using 2x6s or 2x8s, they can, for roofing, they can go up to 24 inches.
Maximum.
That's part one. Part two requires that ductwork be done with conventional, traditional, sturdy aluminum, and not what we call flex duct, or what I'm told.
Rigid.
Yeah,
Yes.
rigid. So it says that the underlying parts there you see is what is going to be amended in the code. No flex duct or similar flexible ductwork products shall be allowed for heating and cooling ductwork.
Thank you.
I move that we adopt ordinance 2023-05.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Kyle.
Okay. Yes. Would you restate the motion, please?
We have a motion and a second to adopt ordinance 2023-05.
Any discussion?
I chime in, one other thing about section 4, it's behind the staple there.
Yes, sir.
They will, there's a requirement that they'll have this posted on the wall area, across the street for a period of 3 years, and that this ordinance be handed out to anybody requesting a building permit when they pull a permit, so they will have fair notice of it
Okay,
for 3 years.
thank you. Any other discussion?
On this ordinance, well, I guess I'm jumping ahead with the emergency clause. Any construction that's ongoing right now that's already been, would that be grandfathered?
Yes.
They wouldn't have to
It's
retroactively go in
underway.
and change? Okay.
Yes. Any other discussion? Will you please call the roll?
Mark Hickman,
Yes.
Jack Jeffrey,
Yes.
Jack Cole,
Yes.
Kyle Martin.
Yes.
Emergency clause.
Do we have a motion?
I move that we accept the emergency clause of ordinance 2023-05.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Please restate the motion.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the emergency clause of ordinance 2023-05.
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Mark Hickman,
Yes.
Zach Jeffrey,
Yes.
Jack Paul,
Yes.
Kyle Martin.
Yes.
Next on the agenda, to lift the moratorium on the building as a result of passing ordinance 2023-05, amending the building codes. Do I hear a motion to lift the moratorium on the building codes, on building?
I'll make the motion to lift the moratorium on the building.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Do we need a vote, or a voice vote or a roll call on this? Okay.
It really needs a resolution, and I'll prepare that after we're done, but it's a resolution to cancel. I don't
moratorium.
I don't remember the original number of it, but we passed it, and it was scheduled to expire on August 23rd.
Right.
So we're lifting it a month early.
That's right. But as of,
Either one, roll call would be fine.
yes, let's go with a roll call, please.
Mark Hickman,
Yes.
Zach Jeffrey,
Yes.
Jack Paul,
Yes.
Kyle Martin.
Yes.
Thank you. The lifting of the moratorium on building has passed. Next on the agenda, Resolution 2023-05, the purchase of a lawnmower for the street department. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion, we purchase the lawnmower for the street department.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Mr. Hickman, if you could, we just make a motion to approve the resolution 2023-05, which is essentially the same.
I make a motion, we approve resolution 2023-05.
Thank you. And Kyle, second. We'll take a voice vote on this. All in favor of passing resolution 2023-05, the purchase of lawnmower for the street department? All in favor, aye.
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 All opposed, same. Ayes confirmed the purchase. Thank you. Next on the agenda, our fire truck. Chief Tolliver will walk us through this.
So, like we talked about during our workshop, tanker 2 we were coming back from a vehicle fire on the interstate. The truck had blew a tire. Once we got the tire off, when did investigating, the frame was rusted out on the truck. Welds are broke, brake chambers are rusted out, seals, everything. With the frame issues and the substantial rust throughout the truck, we placed the truck out of service permanently. So we're dealing with that currently. We have a grant in to replace the truck. If we're awarded the grant, we'll be awarded $768,000 to replace that tanker truck. So what I come to y'all for, like we talked about during our workshop, is looking at something to replace in our aging fleet. We'd like to look at purchasing a newer rescue pumper to run out of here. We have been looking. We located another one. The asking price currently is $89,000. It's located in Iowa. The truck's pretty clean. We did talk with the bank, and they were okay with the financing on it. Crystal, what did?
For a 5-year term, the monthly payments would be $1,866. For a 7-year term, which is probably the most we would want to go, the payments would be $1,446. $400.
And what was the terms of those two?
60 months and 5 years and 7 years.
5 years and 7 years. What I'd like to know is if y'all would allow us to move forward and go look at this truck and then do an inspection on it. And if everything goes through, we'd like to move forward to financing and purchasing the truck.
Mayor, are you going in there?
Yes, I'll be going.
Is there any warranty on the truck or anything?
So they have a whole check sheet they actually called today. I believe it's a 1 to 2 year warranty, mainly on the drivetrain, the motor, most of your big stuff. Of course, it's a 2006. It's newer than anything we have currently. Lower miles, it actually has below 100,000 miles. It has all the storage space for all of our rescue tools because we carry all of our tools on one truck now, just so we can have one truck going to the scene to do everything.
What's our
We're-
newest vehicle? Newest truck in the fleet?
The newest fire truck will be our brush truck. It's a 2009 F-350. Our next truck after that would be our tanker truck. It's, I want to say, a 2010, 2011. It was purchased on a grant as well.
Where was this located
Iowa.
previously? It was used in Iowa?
It's in Iowa, the truck is.
But yes, but in terms of where was it used? Just like before,
Mm-hmm.
we bought one from a location, but it had been used in a different location.
Yeah, it was, our tanker 2 was out of Pennsylvania. This truck is a Midwest truck. I believe it's in Iowa itself. It has no rust on it. That was our big issue with the tanker truck, was the rust.
Chief, what happened with the, I believe it was a 2002 truck that we were talking about at the workshop?
So-
That was in Pennsylvania from Texas? Is that
Yes,
correct?
yes. So I know we had talked about that. We wanted to look at our options. We could get a little more truck for a little more money with newer and a better chance to last us longer. So like y'all have said, we're not constantly dumping money into a fleet. We want it to last.
So how does it compare? Because I know the other one was low mileage, it was 20-something
So
thousand miles.
it's lower mileage. It's older. It's a 2002. This one's a 2006. This one has a complete set, fully equipped for rescue equipment. As to the other truck, there was a couple differences. We're trying to get more bang for our buck and stay reasonable.
So will this keep us in compliance
Yes, sir.
for 5 to 7
Yeah,
years?
and currently engine 1, with us purchasing another truck, currently if engine 1 goes down, we get on engine 2. It's a 1997. It's the first truck the city purchased brand new. There was 2 twins. It's got, engine 2 is a great truck. It's like a roach, you can't kill it. But it does not have the storage space and we have to take all of our equipment off of engine one and spread it between 2 or 3 different trucks. And that becomes a staffing issue, especially at night. If, you know, there's 1 or 2 of us, we don't want to have to separate and get in different trucks. We can hop in one truck and run that truck to any emergency.
So what you're saying, not only to meet ordinance,
Mhm.
it will meet our
It's
needs
safety.
for this time.
Yes, sir.
Let's speak into the microphones, please,
Okay.
where that we can be
Yeah,
heard.
so we'd like to keep everything on one truck. That way, one truck can do the job. If we have a car accident, we have a fire, everything can happen.
We're doubling the use of our vehicles now because we don't have a unit that has everything on it that they need. So that's another issue. We're putting
Yeah,
more
we-
miles and other,
On-
on another vehicle as well.
Engine and fire trucks, these days, they all have their gremlins. Engine one has more gremlins than anything else. Electrical gremlins. They're slowly working out, but we can't put the truck in the shop to get everything fixed because we need a truck to do our job and serve the community. So we'd like to get a newer truck that can better serve and less downtime in the shop, more time serving the community.
So going forward, and this may be a Dale question, he's not here. Crystal, have you talked to Dale about this? I'm just wondering, out of the fire budget, do we need to decide which option as far as financing, where that's good to go if we go look at the truck?
We basically were talking about that. We feel that the shorter the term, the less interest we pay.
I agree,
And
if it doesn't put a strain on the fire budget, I
It
definitely
leaves
agree to
us,
save that interest money.
we did the rough numbers on it the other day. It leaves us roughly a $2,500 cushion a month, just to make sure if something catastrophic happens, we have the funds to handle everything we need.
You've been in touch with whoever's selling it.
Yes, sir.
What is the term right now in terms of, are they holding this vehicle
No, sir.
for us?
No, sir.
Okay.
There's no hold on it. They called today just to give us an update. Hey, this truck that you're looking at, we want to let you know
Okay.
it got its annual maintenance and it passed its pump test with flying colors. So we may, get done with this tomorrow, truck sold, we got to look at another options.
But in terms of, you and I had this conversation, I asked, in looking at all of these different trucks, and Chief has been diligently looking, just from our workshop, trying to find a better truck for the money and so on and so forth. And he keeps coming back to this one. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but the point is, we need to decide what we want to do. So what are you asking the council as of tonight?
If y'all would give us the approval to go inspect the truck, if the truck passes everything, passes our inspection, move forward with the financing of the truck. That way we're not risking losing something and having to start over. Because you don't realize how hard looking for fire trucks are until you're actually looking.
So that, would we need to okay a dollar amount this evening, Dustin, in order for that to?
You're approving his request to go inspect it, and then.
I mean, would they hold it till next month's meeting if we?
You're asking to
If,
go inspect it and to.
if
proceed
it
with
passes inspection,
Proceed with an offer.
proceed with an offer
Yes,
to finance.
That would need to be part of the minutes if you wanted to.
yes. And that's what we had discussed, that if we came to the council with he's already looked at this and on paper with the photos and this type of thing, it looks like a good deal, good truck, that type of thing. But obviously, we've got to go and take a look at it. When I said I was going, when Mark asked me if I was going, yes, but I'm going with the chief. It's not just me. So as the chief and I was talking about, what we'd like to know from the council, will you first authorize us to go, and if it meets the standard and everything looks well, and if we can negotiate any, will you allow us to purchase that, given a certain dollar amount that we don't go over?
Also, Danny, I know when we had talked the other day, your big thing was how much would it cost to get the truck down here?
Yes.
Little over $2,400 to ship the truck here from Iowa.
We were talking, it's roughly 600 and something miles?
Yes, sir.
Okay, with the fuel that it's going to cost and with the wear and tear of 600 miles plus getting it down here, we were thinking it's best to go ahead and have it shipped here on a low boy.
Yes, sir.
We would take care, at least we're gaining that 600 miles and the wear and tear. Again, it's going to take a lot of fuel. Did you estimate how much fuel it would take?
No. Fire trucks usually get about 4 to 5 gallons, or 4 to 5 miles per gallon on the truck, so.
So how much are you asking for in total?
Just, I think to cover the truck and the shipping, I'd just say no more than $95,000 just to cover our grounds.
I was gonna say, are you gonna have any outfitting cost once it gets here?
Just
besides
decals.
letter,
We've
decals?
got all the equipment. We just, I think decals, be probably roughly $1,000, $1,200.
If we approved amount lower than that, would it give you a negotiating chip whenever you go to the table with it?
Oh, you can bet that. You can bet that's going to happen.
My counsel said I could only spend 80, and I gotta get it down there.
That's right, that's right. This check is has the invisible ink. If we don't go ahead and you take it now, it's going to disappear.
I make a motion to approve everyone to go to check this truck out, and if it's, get the loan for $95,000.
Yes,
95.
That would just cover everything, just in case.
Up to 95.
Up to 95,000. And I'm assuming, we talked about the term on the payment, monthly payment. I'm assuming we have been, that's just not an estimate, we have been approved that they will take that. So we're good to go. Okay. So again, Mark, I'm sorry, what was your motion?
My motion is to allow you guys to go to check this truck out. If it all checks out right, then you're approved up to $95,000 to purchase the fire truck.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Let's have a roll vote on that, please. Roll call vote.
Mark Hicklin,
Yes.
Zach Jeffrey,
Yes.
Zach Paul,
Yes.
Kyle Moore.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
Is this did you say this was a rescue truck?
Yes, ma'am, it's a rescue pumper. I'll get you the exact name.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the 2022 Legislative Audit Report. The question is, did everyone get a copy in the mail? This is an acknowledgement of that document.
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone said yes, JP?
Yes.
Okay. With that, this is an acknowledgement that everyone received that. Do we need to have a vote, voice or roll call on that?
Acknowledge that it's been received as part of the city records.
Okay. Then that meets that need. Then we move on to the garbage contract guidelines. Dustin, will you?
What we have is, again, from our workshop, our waste contract is up for renewal, and we have prepared what you have in your packet is a draft of advertisement that will be run on our website and our socials and newspaper and things like that, just requesting proposals from contractors that are in the trash collecting business. What is most efficient on something like this is let them come to us with the proposals of how they are best at doing business and compare different potential contracts that they might have. The other approach is if we write the contract and it's just the wrong way to do that, because we don't want to be telling them how to deliver trash, collect the trash. They'll tell us the best way to do that, and then we'll pick from competing options there. So what you see there is a request for proposals, with the plan being that when we meet on August 22nd, we'll invite them to give short presentations and bring copies of whatever they propose, and then y'all can decide then. And then we'll decide at that meeting which one, if any of them, to enter the contract with. A couple of edits. This is actually ready to go to the newspaper, just with a couple of edits. One being that I put Monday, August 22nd, but y'all meet on Tuesdays, so it'd be Tuesday, August 22nd, and just a couple of little grammar typos that I've spotted there. We wanted to make it as short as possible. Of course, you know the newspaper charges us by the word, so we didn't want to go on and on. But that's the plan.
Are there any discussion?
Anybody have any questions or edits to any of this?
Is there a certain length of time we have to put that request for bid out before opening bids, or is it anything like that?
We'll ask the paper to publish it as quick as they can get it on.
I was just thinking if we had those bids by the August 10th meeting, it would be nice to be able to discuss those at the workshop.
And that's what I was going to ask. If the bids are completed, I don't see Larry Smith, but if Waste Connection, yes, if you guys are finished with your proposal, your bid, if we could get it earlier, then that would help us out. If not, we definitely need to have a meeting prior to. We may have to call a special meeting on that. But if we have both of them, we definitely want to go
Be nice to have
through.
both of them present at the workshop
Yes,
on the 10th.
exactly. So we'll try that. Okay.
This does not talk about sealed bids. It does have a
No.
window that they'll be open until, that we'll accept them up until noon on August 22nd, and then vote for them at the council meeting. But
And then we can
If
receive
someone-
those by email, is what you're.
if somebody were to come earlier, I don't think there's any
No.
reason
not
they
a sealed
couldn't be
bid type
discussed.
thing.
No.
Okay.
But you do, the workshop, you can discuss things, you can't make decisions at the workshop.
Right,
You can
right.
Make your final decision at the meeting.
All right, again, do we have, we need a vote or a motion?
Yeah,
to-
just a quick
Yes.
approval of this, and we'll put it in the paper.
And this is just an
starting this
approval to go forward with the paper as far as the request for proposals.
week. And I would propose two runs in the Log Cabin Democrat a week apart.
Separated by 1 week. Okay.
I'll make a motion that we accept this request for proposals to be ran in the local paper at 1 week apart. or-
1 week apart, as quick as they can get it.
Thank you. Second? All in favor, saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed by same. Thank you. The next on the agenda is, let's see. We want to discuss or report on the new traffic pattern for the elementary school. Is Chief in here? Chief, do you want to walk us through that, or you want me to? Well, whatever. Here's the map up here. We could bring it and put it on the podium if you want to, where people could see it.
Has everyone, or has anyone seen the maps on Facebook that the schools put out? The reason for this was twofold. We were walking the post office a lot during the business hours, and the fire trucks and EMS were having problems getting out of the stations in time, especially during the mornings when the school was dropping off, and more so in the afternoons when parents would line up so early to get into the school. We kicked around several different options, and the one that we came up with worked best for the school and for our needs was to make Railroad a one-way from behind the water department around to Highway 89 or Miller Street. So that is going to be a one-way. The elementary traffic is essentially just reversed from what it was, where it was coming in off of 89 or Railroad and going into the school. It's just gonna go the opposite way now. So their street department has already posted quite a few signs over there. I think they've got a couple more that they're going to put out. We did get with the superintendent and Ms. Watts, the elementary principal, Anything else? Questions on that? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chief. The next traffic pattern, the next is the overview of the renovations for the Mayflower Community Center. That's directly behind us. As you noticed, over the weekend, I went in and we cut everything around the building. It was in bad shape on the north side, where all kinds of vines were growing into the windows, up in the eaves. Lots of poison ivy, overgrown bushes, and then the trees back in the back. A couple of them were diseased, and the other one had been there for so old when we started trying to prune it up, it was nothing left. So we went ahead and removed that. So what we're doing is, let me go ahead and set the stage. The city of Mayflower owns the building, and we maintain it. We pay for everything of that building. The monthly average cost that the city is paying is a little over $500 a month for utilities and the upkeep of the building, yards, and this type of thing. So what I was trying to do is look at it from a standpoint, the city doesn't, as you know, doesn't have a lot of money. So that's a great asset that we have. Just like with the city park, that is something that we could take and start using on a regular basis in terms of having social events and this type of thing. The building needs a lot of remodeling. And so what I'm planning to do is we started with the bushes. At some time, we will come back and plant all new shrubbery and flowers around the building. But before we do that, what we're doing, we're going to have a new roof. Met with the adjuster yesterday, and they're going to be coming back with their proposal in terms of how much money or what to the degree that that's going to be replaced. Right now it's got a straight 3-tab shingle on it. We'll be going back with the architectural shingles, weathered wood, and then there's going to be a lot of fascia repair on the front of it that we already know of. On the top, around the vents, they have already cupped up. We're expecting to be a lot of wood damage. We're hoping that's going to be minimized, but they were telling us, based on what they're seeing, we can count on that. So we're going to get the roof replaced. Everything looks good with new gutters. And then we're going to, again, correct all of the wood problems on that. But our ultimate goal is, once we get the roof and that type of thing, we're going to reach a point where everything is going to be repainted. We're going to paint that building as opposed to leaving it as it is, to make it, look much better. Then we'll be planting bushes and that type of thing. Very attractive, trying to make the building look alive. Then on the inside, what we're going to do is that we're going to be putting a fireplace. When you walk in and you're going to be looking directly east, we'll be putting a fireplace in that area. To the north of that wall, we'll be putting a large TV screen with also an automated white screen that we'll be able to pull down, and we can have an overhead use in that. With computers and this type of thing, you just plug your laptop in. For presentations as well as for shows, movies, that type of thing. Again, what we're wanting to do is, it's a great asset. That is, again, one of those things that we think that we could gather our community around. We'll have movie nights, have different events on that. Again, on the inside, we'll be putting a commercial ice maker in the kitchen along with a trash compactor. There'll be other general improvements to the kitchen part. In the main room, where, as I said, we're going to be putting the fireplace, the TV, the pull-down screen. Also, we'll be putting in a new floor, very attractive. We're going to paint everything. We've got some people that are giving us some ideas in terms of colors and so on and so forth, to make it look like it's more professional and that it's going to really look good. The idea is that not only we would use it for business events or social events like what we're doing, but we could turn around and rent it for showers, family get-togethers, reunions, weddings. As of right now, it's been rented about 4 or 5 times. There was another lady that called me today, and she wants to rent it for next Saturday. So this is only by word of mouth, and the word is getting out. We're really not advertising it right now, but we're not turning away anybody. The price that we're going to, our price point right now is $200 per night with a $100 refundable cleanup fee. If you rent it, clean it up, you get your money back, that type of thing. In the back where we cut those trees down, the proposal is that we're going to build a large patio back here, concrete. It'll be approximately 25 feet from the building out, and it'll be 45 feet from one end of where you, right now, if you are in that room, if you go all the way to the north corner, there is one door that exits, allows you to get to the backyard. From just on the north of that door, all the way back to where the kitchen is located, just before you get to the kitchen, there's 2 existing windows there. The proposal is that we're going to take out those windows, put patio doors there. That's where you would enter or exit the building onto the concrete patio. Later on, what we're wanting to do is put a patio cover like you would have at your house, so that it can be used if it's raining or whatever. We're talking about putting a fireplace out there as well. We'll have a sound system with speakers that will be mounted out there, in addition to inside the building, 2 separate systems, but off the same electronics. In addition to that, like I said, we're going to be painting the outside of the building. On the front, if you enter into the building, there are 3 rooms on that north side. The first, the northwest room, we're making that into a bridal room for a bride and the bridesmaid. The room adjacent to that, we're going to not knock out the wall, but we're going to open that wall with a large archway, and that room will be for what they are telling me a sitting room for the mothers, the aunts, sisters, anybody outside the wedding party, but they're part of it, but not directly involved in where the bride's room is. It would be connected. And then there are 2 windows in that room. We'll be knocking out either one or both of those and put a door there, so that the wedding party, instead of having to come up to the front, take everything through the main building and go in there, all they have to do is pull up, take out what they're wanting, come to the door, and they're set up there. Then we'll have an area where we'll be putting a pool table in addition to some other storage. That's basically, and there'll be some other things that we will do to that. Now, one of the things I want to point out, that with this building, that the senior citizens, Faulkner County Senior Citizens Group, has been using that building for a long time. Nothing will change. Their schedule is Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, starting early in the morning, and they leave somewhere around 3 o'clock. Nothing will change. They will continue to use the building. We will not, or can use the building. We will not be charging them, just like we've done in the past. And so we're trying to make the building better. When we get finished, this is going to be something that we're all going to be proud of. We think that we can make that a revenue stream for the city. But my goal is, if we can do anything over $500 a month so that we don't have to take that out of the budget, then that's going to be a good thing. And so there's a lot of excitement with the people I've talked to in terms of the building, and they're anxious to get where we get it that way, where they can use it, and it's relatively cheap for the access that they have. One of the things that we're going to be doing also, if you go into the room, the building, it has a cathedral ceiling. And with that, you've got ceiling fans hanging down. We'll be changing out those ceiling fans to new fans. Excuse me. But what the type of lighting that is there, it's like the old schools where it has open fluorescent bulbs, the long bulbs. And I think some time ago they changed those out to LEDs, but they don't look good. So we're going to be changing to some type of fixtures, lighting fixtures that would be dimmable if necessary. We're going to be going through a lighting company to retrofit all of that. So we have a lot of things that we're wanting to do. It's going to make the building be just a great building. It's going to be a huge asset for us. And when I say us, I'm talking about the Mayflower community. As I said, I mentioned that I compare it to the city park, where we've gone through and we've tried to upgrade the park, where we can have festivals like we had before, and we're planning to do this more and more. But mostly is that we don't have any place for any of our youth or anybody else to do at night around here. This is a place that we could use on that for that type of thing. Again, the senior citizens group, they will have their same schedule, and we won't interfere with that. But if they're out of there by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that gives us the ability to schedule things after that so that we don't interfere with any of that. Again, the idea is nothing is going to change with the senior citizens group. What we're going to be doing is changing the whole appearance so that it's going to be nicer. And that's what our goal is that's something that we can be proud of, but yet we can continue to make money off of so that it will be providing a revenue stream for the city. And that's a positive. Any questions, comments?
Mayor, I'm assuming your timeline on that is indefinite, right?
Right, it's going to take some time.
Based on funding.
Right, well, just like this weekend, we went out and took care of all of this. So it's starting, but we're wanting to go into this and get things done as quickly as possible so that we can reap the benefit as well. Yes, ma'am. Can you come up to the front and speak to the microphone, through the microphone, please? State your name, please.
Penny Johnson, and if anybody of you are on the Mayflower Neighborhood Facebook, you know that I've been posting quite a bit because I'm concerned about the seniors, and let me just say, Mayor Hester, I would like for you to please come to the senior citizens when they're all there in the morning, Thursday morning or one day next week, and go over what you just went over with this group.
Okay,
please.
be glad to.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Because, you know, they're older people. They are concerned. When the name comes off the building, they're concerned. When, you know, when they hear that if we don't like what they're doing, then we can go somewhere else, they're concerned. So if you would please, because that's a lot.
Let me interrupt you just for a second.
Yes, sir.
Would you please restate that they have heard that someone has said, if you don't like it, you can go someplace else?
Yes.
Who has said that?
You said that.
Well, they're lying. I don't mix words. I don't sugarcoat. I've never said that.
That
You
if
can
they
ask.
don't comply with what the changes that you want to make, that they can meet somewhere else. You didn't say that?
No,
Mr.
the
Mayor?
fact of the matter is, well, anybody can go and do what they want to. It's a free country. what I've done is I'm trying to make it better. And yes, the fact of the matter is, why would you want to go someplace else when
We do
it's
not.
perfect? I mean, it's making everything better. It's
We
not
do
making it
not.
worse.
And I honestly,
I said, I said that we are doing everything to better this area, better this facility. And if you don't want to be part of that, you could go somewhere else, yes. I'm sorry, ma'am? I said, if you don't like what we're doing, you're free to go someplace else. Absolutely, it's a free country. But why would you want to go someplace else? That's what I'm saying. There's misunderstanding. I've never said that we were going to stop the senior citizens. It's going to be better. I've even told Miss Pat and Miss Tina, we're going to have a large TV in there. Miss Tina has said, that's great, because now we can watch TV with... Ma'am? Well, and that's fine. You don't have to use that. When I was saying that, Miss Tina said, well, that'd be great, because now they can watch their stories but over lunch. We don't care.
Mr. Mayor, can I interject just a minute?
Yes.
Ma'am, I think the key to it is right now, the city pays the bill on that, or the utilities, et cetera.
not all of them.
Let me finish just a minute, okay? I've listened to it just a minute. I'm asking you, give me the floor just a minute, okay?
Yes, sir.
We pay the utilities on it as a whole. There could be something you pay, doesn't matter, that's irrelevant. But if the city, since the senior citizens use the building 3 days a week, if we go in, if the city goes in and updates that building, then we're talking about updating the building. Ma'am, if you don't want the TV on, don't turn it on. It's okay. Nobody's gonna come in there and make you turn it on. Turn it off. It never has to come on. But when you're not there, why should the city not be, why should it not be appreciated to update? Let me finish, ma'am. Let me finish just a minute. If you want, I want the senior citizens here because I may be there one of these days. But you know what? I would take pride in the fact that the cities want to come in and update that building. When I was told about it, I think they ought to put granite countertops, make it just as nice as they can be for you guys. And when you're not there, the city can use it in other ways. What is wrong with that? I don't understand. Well, I didn't hear that, and I'm not going to argue that point either way with you, ma'am. But what I am saying is that if I were a senior citizen, I would think, it's just me projecting for when I am there, may not be long, but I would rather the city come in and update that building, have it nice, have it painted, new lights, new floors, new all that other stuff that he's talking about doing. You don't have to use that, but you know what? You have a nice, clean, comfortable place to go and enjoy yourself and carry on the same activities that's been going on for how long has that been going on? 75 years or 50, 30 years? How long has it gone?
No,
I don't-
it was
Long time.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll say that, long time.
Sometime in the 90s, late 90s.
Okay, late 90s. But if we
Okay.
don't do anything to it, it's going to get run down furthermore. Second of all, the last point I have to make is when I've gone over there to look, because I've gone to functions over there, and I've looked, that's probably 4 years ago, the first time I ever went in there, 5 to 6 years ago. You look at some of those rooms in there, they're stuffed full of stuff, and I guarantee you nobody even knows what's in there. But the key to it is though, if everybody can share in a facility that is owned by the city, that is used by the senior citizens in general. Nobody wants to take anything away. Nobody wants to limit anything you're doing at all for any reason. We want to update it, or I say we. The city wants to update it, and I think that's a good thing. I think we should be applauding this instead of, I didn't even go look at the Facebook thing because I didn't even want to see it because most of the people on there is probably making comments. They have no idea what they're talking about. But I think we all should applaud the fact that the city is wanting to update and maintain that building and update it and bring it into the newest century, don't you think? I mean, wouldn't everybody agree with that?
Yes, sir, I'm not opposing that at all. As I said to Mayor Hester, I would ask that what I just heard here at this meeting be said to the seniors, all of the seniors that attend over there. They will be more comfortable with that fact.
Be glad to.
They're scared. They are scared. They're older people. I'm the youngest person that goes over there. I was lucky enough to retire early, and I'm the youngest one that goes there, but they're scared.
Well, if they're
And-
scared, they've gotten the wrong information.
So just, if you would please do that, I agree.
I'll be glad to.
That updating it would be wonderful, and I agree that having a place for our youth would be wonderful. I grew up here.
For everyone,
My kids went
yes.
to high school and graduated here, and we didn't have, other than out sports, our sports for the kids, we didn't have anything.
Sure,
So
yeah.
that's all good. I would ask one thing, though. When you're talking about the lighting, please understand, these people have a hard time to see, so please make it bright with the ability to dim. That's
Yes,
what
and
I
that's
ask.
exactly right. And I agree with you totally. Well, I'm the same way. I want it bright, but what I was getting at is looking at it from a standpoint, when someone rents it for a wedding, based on the people that are giving me some ideas, they're telling me these things, be able to dim where the focus is on what they have brought in with lighting and this type of thing.
Yeah,
So,
and I'm fine with
but
that.
I'm with you exactly. We want it bright.
We do want it bright for
Yes.
them, and like I said, it's very concerning to them. That's why I even got involved, because I have relatives there. I have made really good friends with some of the people there, and there is concern, and they need to be, they need that message from you to make them
glad
all
to.
feel more comfortable.
Yes, ma'am.
About the situation.
And
please.
what I'm hoping for, there is a small number that comes.
Yes, we're increasing. It's been hard for
Uh,
us, but.
But what I'm saying is, I think when we update it and it makes it, when people see it, I think more people are going to want to come to your programs.
That may be the case.
And
yes.
that's what I've told Ms. Pat and Ms. Tina. Anything that we can do to promote it, when we're promoting that, we're promoting your group as well. Because let's face it, where do you want to go to eat at a restaurant or whatever? You want to go to the nicest one that you can. And I'm wanting to take pride in what we're doing. I think it's going to be a good thing. I think it's going to be an asset for our community. And that's what we want.
Yes, like I said, I'm not opposed to any changes and upgrades. It's wonderful that the community wants to do that. The seniors are just concerned, and that's where I'm coming from.
Absolutely.
That's where I'm coming from. So, I just
What
want-
time do you
I
want
wanna
me there
take
on
care of
Thursday?
them.
On Thursday?
If you could be there maybe 9:30, because a few people don't get there until
Sure.
9:15 or so. But if you could be there 9:30, I think that would be wonderful.
Okay.
That would help them. And, I mean, they're concerned because they're worried, they like Pat and Tina. They don't want them to lose their jobs. And it's all just been a thing. So let's clear it up and make them feel like they do have a home, please.
Yes, and first of all, we have nothing to do with the employment of Miss Pat and
Oh,
Tina.
I know,
That's it.
but they feel
yes.
like that if that goes away, then that might go away too.
Well,
That's
but
just
we're
the
hoping
feeling.
to increase the number of people that will be part of that group.
I hope so too. We have a good time. We really do.
Yes,
So,
yes.
We do, so, okay.
Well, thank you for coming to us and sharing your thoughts with us. We
Yes.
definitely want you to continue. We like to see people coming and getting involved. Please, thank you so
Yes.
much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for listening to me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes. Any other comments? Yes, ma'am. Yes, please come up here.
Hi, my name is Kim Barksdale, and I love the Senior Citizen Center. And I'm getting to the age of Might need it one day. I have a question though. Where are they gonna quilt? Where are they gonna put their games? Things like that need to be addressed with them versus just, let's clean everything up, let's get rid of everything, let's remodel. We need to talk about what we're gonna do because you can't expect them to come in. You can't go to your desk and do your job and have to move everything every day. We need to
Understand.
figure out a plan instead of just, I love the idea of painting, updating. I think it's all in how you present it versus, I think we all want the same outcome, but it's how you present it to the senior citizens, how you present it to the community. I think it's great, you know, but what are we gonna do? We're gonna say they can't have their puzzles, they can't have their, I agree. Let's clean it up, but we gotta figure out where they're gonna quilt if we're gonna let them be there.
Well, let's look at everything. Like you say, the puzzles and this type of thing, they make boards now that fold up, that you can leave the puzzle where it is and take that puzzle and go store it. That's an option as far as puzzles go. Now we get into a conversation with quilting. Is it really necessary?
If you ask the
For
seniors,
one or two people. But the fact of the matter is that quilting equipment takes up a lot of space. Yes, ma'am, okay.
and it's,
Okay, but you are the large thing that's in that one big room? Okay, and what we would need to do then is talk about how much space that you would need for your quilting. And what I see is we have to be efficient. So it may be that we need to have something built that would house that quilting. I don't know, I'm ignorant to the fact of what you have to quilt. But I do know that there's a big object in that back room. But if you're going to get rid of that, that's going to free up a lot of space. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Well, then what we will do is try to, what if we did this? What if we try to go in, once you remove that big piece of furniture, big piece of equipment, whatever it's called, what if we dedicate that room for all of your things in terms of puzzles? Again, I'm ignorant of the fact of what the quilting, what you're needing. Is it a rack that you need to, when you work in? Okay, and that is larger, for everybody that's not aware of this. If you took this table right here, it's longer than one of these tables, right? And that's square. That takes up a lot of room. What we would need to do, I'm not saying we don't want that. I'm saying, how would we be able to, if we had an event, what would a device look like that we could move it from those four, your frame, to put it in that room? How would that look? Would that be possible? I guess is what I'm saying.
I think that we could all come to an agreement. I think it needs to be cleaned out.
Yes.
I think we can definitely move stuff over to a room. I ask who's gonna help the seniors do that? I need manpower.
Yeah.
You know, I need dumpsters.
Well,
We need places to do this, but we need to talk to them and explain that we're here to help, not just, by God, this is the way it's gonna be.
Yeah, well, I spoke this afternoon with Miss Pat and Miss Tina, and I told them anything they need, if they're not needing, if they don't want it, or they want it out, all they've got to do is I suggested put a piece of tape on it and say, haul off or something of that nature. We will do whatever we can to help you with that. It's just a matter, the hardest part is to go through and decide what you're wanting out and what you're going to keep and what you're going to do.
You're gonna have to have a lot of tags. So I
I'm
would
sorry?
like to have a dumpster. Could we think about getting a dumpster there to put stuff in, or a recycle bin, or something like that? Because to tag everything in there, you want things done in a timely fashion.
Well,
It can't be done tags,
if that's
because
what
if
we-
you scoot everything over here, then you're just piling everything in. We need a means to get it out.
I was just
to reach
trying
the
to
same
help
goal.
to keep people from, the seniors from taking it from in there out. But if you want a dumpster, absolutely, we'll get you a dumpster over there.
I think there needs to be a dumpster, maybe a recycle bin. I mean, I'm open to suggestions for them, but I think instead of being a dictator and saying how things are gonna be, let's talk to them. Let's embrace them. They've been here a long time. All I'm asking is that we embrace. We all want change. Change is good, but it's how we go about it.
So you're wanting a dumpster. That's the first thing?
I think
Okay.
that's gonna have to happen. There's lots of stuff in there
Oh, I
that needs
understand.
to go.
There's tons of what needs, yes.
But we
yes.
need people to help them, and we need understanding.
Well, and we will do what we can, but as far as the senior citizens, they need to be asking for volunteers from their family as well to
I
help.
am their family. I will
You're-
help.
Yes, and that's great, but you're only one person.
Trust me,
Yes.
Mayor, I can get you some help.
Well, good. Well, that's fine. If you want a dumpster, we'll get you a dumpster.
Sounds great.
All right?
And if you'll get with me after the meeting, I'll get you some manpower.
That sounds perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mark, did you?
No, I was just
Okay.
gonna say, maybe a meeting that everybody, you guys could all get together and come to an agreement, and everybody could be happy at the end,
Yes.
so.
With all of this, everyone has heard they need volunteers. Is there anyone in here that would raise your hand and commit to helping? There's your volunteers.
There you go.
So would you like to spearhead what you're going to be doing inside of the items that will be moved? Okay.
I've already made arrangements for some of the flyers to go like you asked. I've already made arrangements for some of the paintings that you asked to go. I've made arrangements for that.
Okay. Yes, sir. Okay. And we'll help as well. It's just, we just need to know, just like, we'll get a dumpster started tomorrow. We'll find out how to order that and get that going. So yes. But if the volunteers, if you would you maybe sign your name with your telephone number? And I'm horrible on names. What was your name again?
Kim Barstow.
No. Yes. Kim, if y'all would maybe sign a sheet of paper and give it to Kim with your names for us volunteering. Okay. Any other comments? I'm sorry. Yes, before we move on, David Hogue, he's an attorney from Conway. He was how many years ago were you our city attorney, David?
Several years ago.
Yes.
I don't know how many, I was the city attorney, and you graduated to Dustin.
Yes, all right. David, please introduce yourself.
Yes. So, my name is David Hogue, I used to be the city attorney here.
Excuse me, please. David's got the floor. David, if you would you mind coming up to the microphone?
I apologize, Mayor, I gotta run.
Yes.
I'll be quick. My name is David Hogue. I used to be the city attorney here. I used to be the county attorney for Faulkner County. I'm running for district judge, which covers Conway, Faulkner County, and Van Buren County. It's the seat that Jack Roberts used to be in long, long ago. When he was in it, he would appoint me once in a while to substitute for him. I did that on multitudes of occasions, and I've sat as special judge in circuit court, and I've sat as appointee by Asa Hutchinson on one occasion on the Supreme Court. I am now running for district judge in Faulkner and Van Buren County, and I'm asking for everybody's support.
Thank you so much, David.
Thank you.
We appreciate
For
you.
what it's worth, I've done a will just recently for Dustin. He asked me to make sure that he was buried 7 feet deep. because I'll give you, do you have any idea why a lawyer would be buried that deep?
I don't know if we can say in the open court.
Because deep down, they're good guys.
Thank you, David. Oh, yeah. That's everything.
I do have, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
go ahead. While we had the discussion, I have the resolution prepared on the moratorium issue.
Okay.
If we can get a voice vote, we still have a quorum.
Do we have a quorum?
Still, 1, 2, 3, 3.
Three.
And you have, and then you, is the.
And I,
quorum, yes, sir.
with me, yes.
So I have emailed it to everybody, and Barbara, this would be resolution 2023-6, resolution canceling moratorium of approval of new and pending subdivision developments effective tonight. So if we can just make that a part of the record as approving tonight.
Do we need a roll call vote?
A
on
motion
that?
in a second.
Yes, Matt, have a motion?
Make motion to, remove the moratorium from the building.
Second. Second.
Roll call.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Mayor, you can vote on this one too.
Okay, I have to vote as well.
Mark Hickman,
Yes.
Zach Jeffrey,
Yes.
Jack Paul,
Yes.
Mayor Hester.
Yes.
Thank you. Now she can certify that and it'll be done. Thank you.
Okay. Our next regular council meeting is 7 p.m. Tuesday, August the 22nd. The next planning commission meeting is at 7 p.m. Tuesday, August the 8th. And then our council workshop meeting for our city council is Thursday, August the 10th, and that is at 6 p.m. rather than 7 p.m. All of those meetings are in this room, the City Hall auditorium. With that,
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
yeah. I'm sorry? All right. Come up to the podium, please. Please tell us your name, please.
My name is Kim Clemens. I live at 4 Millwood Circle. My husband and I moved here in May. Since we moved here in May, we have had to replace 5 tires on my husband's truck, and as of tomorrow, 3 tires on my car. And I'm asking that the city pave our street.
Okay. Where is this street? Jimmy, do you know
It's
where?
4 Millwood Circle. It is yes, it's a gravel road.
It's a private road. A private road is not maintained by the city.
We live on this road. We moved here. It's in the city limits.
But Jimmy, come up where we can hear what you're saying. Explain the situation.
It has never been brought up to the city standard. It's not wide enough, for one thing. Everything's close to.
That's not my fault.
No.
And that's not the city's as well. We have private roads, like there's a Carroll Road that is a private-owned road that we have nothing to do with. So there's other roads in the city that when it was established, the people that lived on that road chose not to want it as a public road. And when you're driving through and you see on the name, and it's got on there PV, private road, that's what, or private, what is it supposed to say? What does it indicate?
It doesn't
don't
say
matter
that.
about the
Yeah.
sign.
It doesn't say
It
that.
doesn't
Okay,
matter.
but what I'm
I
saying
mean,
is-
This is Millwood Street or
It's
road.
Millwood Circle. It doesn't
Yeah.
even have a street sign.
But-
Off of Paradise Circle.
Yes.
But my
And it
point is-
doesn't even have a street sign.
Yes, ma'am. But my point is, there are other private streets or roads, whatever you want to call it, within the city limits that we don't have anything to do with. That's the way that it was established. They didn't want the city to come down their roads.
And also, they have to be brung up to city codes for the city to adopt them. And then the city has to adopt them. And then they become a city street.
That's what I was gonna say. From what I know of the code, if you got a private road like we have out at the clubhouse, we put it in. We gotta bring it to standard. Am I right, Jimmy?
Yes.
Then the city will approve it, that it's up to standards, and then the city will pave it.
And it's not just in the city, it's county. All of them's the same way. They have to be brung up. I live on a county road, or I say it's a county road. But
It's a private road.
we hadn't, I mean, they've never adopted it because we never had the money to bring it up to county codes for them to come in there and pave it, maintain it and pave it. Now, I have, out of courtesy, because you're a citizen, I have put gravel on it.
On this particular road?
Yes. When it would get so bad, you know, I would try to fill the potholes.
How long is this street?
But
or-
there's what? How
It's-
many people live?
It's not
there?
very long at all.
It's
There's,
like 5 people maybe lives on it.
yes.
Yeah.
It's not very long at all. It's just a little
Well, we had a
half circle.
councilman here years
And
ago. Roy
the gravel is tearing up the cars. I mean, like I said, there's eight tires for us. And we're both disabled, so we live on a very fixed income, and we can't afford this. I mean, 8 tires in 2 months.
Wow, that's really bad.
Yeah.
Jimmy,
But it's like my road. I mean, it's the same way. I'm just in the county. But I can't afford to bring it up to city codes, and my neighbors are not gonna pay.
what,
For one thing is you've gotta have an easement. There's nothing there. I mean, the houses and storage buildings is right against what driveway's there. Used to, I couldn't even get a road grader around through there hardly. I mean, it was,
Did the city do a courtesy, maintenance on it quarterly?
well, I do, but I don't do it quarterly or anything like that. Like, if somebody complains about it, I'll go over and, you know, and I can put some gravel on it, but I can't pave it.
well, is that something that you would, as a courtesy, is there something that you could do as far as go out there and take a look? I understand, and it's not our responsibility.
Tells me, I
But-
don't know.
Right, but again, those private roads are not our responsibility, but out of
I used to have a guy that lived over there that kept up.
I understand,
He'd
but in
say-
terms of courtesy, can you go over there and look and see what you can do? And that's what we can do,
No problem.
but that would be all we could do. You understand what our situation is?
Well, yeah, but you understand my situation?
I understand.
mean, the problem is the gravel's getting in the tires and that's separating the tires.
Yeah.
That's
Did
the
you
problem
buy
that we've
that
got.
house with that road like that?
Yes.
I mean, that's just like a driveway. I mean, you've got to maintain it. And like I said, I'll do what I can as far as putting gravel on it, but as far as paving it, I can't. Sorry, but
We had one other comment.
Mr. Elder.
Yes, come up to the microphone, please.
What are we doing about code enforcement, and what have we done over the last few months?
What we're doing is we're trying to find money to hire a code enforcement
I
agent.
think that's been at least 7 months that we haven't had any code enforcement.
We
right?
have had some code enforcement with the police
You can
department.
tell the old hardcores who aren't mowing, they're all not mowing again, plus other people are seeing that, in other words, it don't look good. to
No,
see.
sir, it doesn't. You're
And
exactly right.
I'd appreciate us bearing down on that.
Yes, sir.
I spent 18 years of trying to keep that better for the city.
Yes, sir.
And when you see weeds growing around it's not good.
No, sir, you're
Thank
exactly
you.
right.
Thank you, Mr. Elder.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second, yeah. Oh.
We're adjourned.